Renee, thanks for being with us. Looking ahead to ARM once again as an independent company, and I've been following the company for about a decade and a half. Tell me about the growth prospects. My understanding is that you've got around $2.6 billion in revenue over the last 12 months, forecasting $900 million in adjusted EBITDA for fiscal 2021. So nice profitability, but there's always been this tension within ARM between being Switzerland and independent, not competing right with customers versus the raw growth trajectory. Which do you pursue?
Revenues are at $2.6 billion, as you said, a record. Profits are a record. The ARM that's going public is very different than the ARM that we saw in the public markets back in 2015. We're a much more diversified business. We have huge growth in the hyperscalers, automotive, cloud, infrastructure. The trade-offs are always there relative to investing versus long-term return. But I think I'd like to emphasize that we're so excited about the future for ARM because it's a very, very different company than the company that everyone knew that was public pre-SoftBank.
But tell me more about that. There's so much of a move toward everything that ARM sort of pioneered and believed in. Low power, you see what Apple is doing with the M1 chip, et cetera. Flexibility and custom design, we see that happening with the hyperscalers, whether it is custom services, more design work, which is high margin. There are lots of possibilities, it seems, for ARM to expand what it does. How much of that are you going to lean into?
We're going to lean into it pretty hard. If you look at the smartphone and the revolution around that, and what made ARM really a very, very good solution there was broad software applicability and low power, high performance. Now let's talk about the cloud. Let's talk about electric vehicles. Very, very same formula. They need high performance. They need low power. They need a broad software ecosystem. Those are all the things that ARM are really good at.
Renee, what's the latest in China? Alan Wu, the CEO of ARM China, remains in the position despite being fired nearly 2 years ago and claims that this is an independent Chinese-owned entity. Meanwhile, you're facing increased competition from a rival, RISC-V, that seems to be gaining traction in the country.
So we have a JV in China. 49% is owned by ARM, 51% is owned by China investors. We put that in place about 4 or 5 years ago. We are going through a management dispute there, and we're working through that. But I'd also like to say that our business in China has also never been better. We've got record royalties, record licensing. ARM is the most popular architecture in the world, and we're seeing that in China as well.
But is ARM China under the control of ARM Limited?
ARM China is 49% owned by ARM, 51% owned by outside investors. There's a board of which we have a number of ARM people who are on that board. So again, we're working through that dispute with the board and also with Alan. We're confident it'll be resolved soon.
I'm hoping you can say more about the potential that you see in this environment around not only electric vehicles and ADAS, but also the flexibility and customization in computing devices. Qualcomm and Apple are two of your most successful architectural licensees, and their growth into new areas has been tremendous. What kind of a role do you see ARM playing, say even within the Windows ecosystem, in bringing more computing power, flexibility, graphics performance in low power to those devices?
Yeah, we love working with all of our partners, including the two that you just mentioned. The ARM architecture, again, as I said, is the most popular architecture in the world, which is finding its place into many, many applications. Again, very, very well suited for low power, high performance. And when you think about the electronic vehicle of the future, it's a computer on wheels. There's over 30 ARM-based processors in the car today. I see that number going way up in the next number of years. We work with our broad partner base to get a number of solutions out there. Super excited about the opportunity.